Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to jump right into the heart of your car, the engine. We're going to break down all those confusing terms you see on the spec sheet so you finally know exactly what's going on under the hood.
So you've been there, right? Staring at a car's spec sheet with all these numbers and letters. 1500 cc, 120 bhp, 150 Nm, and you just kind of nod like you know what's up. Well, you're in the right place. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what each one of these really means for how a car performs.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to start with the most basic thing you'll see on a spec sheet, the size of the engine, or as it's known, its cc.
So, what is cc? It's just short for cubic centimeter. And don't let the name fool you, it's not complicated at all. It's all about volume. It's a measurement of the total space inside an engine's cylinders, which is where all the power gets made.
So picture this. Inside your engine, you've got these cylinders. And inside each one, a piston is moving up and down, up and down. That total amount of space that all the pistons move through, that's the engine's cc. You can really think of it like the engine's lung capacity, how big of a breath it can take.
And here's something you see all the time, cc and liters. They're pretty much the same thing. The math is super simple. 1,000 cc's is 1 liter. So when you hear someone talking about a 2.0-liter engine, well, that's just a 2,000 cc engine. Same, just a different way of saying it.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you? Well, the general rule of thumb is pretty simple. A bigger engine, so more cc's, usually means more power. It's like more room for the fuel and air to mix means you get a bigger bang inside, and that means more power going to the wheels.
All right, so engine size gives us the potential for power. But how does that potential turn into that push you actually feel when you hit the gas? Well, that's where our next term comes in, torque.
Torque. You hear this word thrown around all the time. What is it? Simply put, it's the twisting force. It's that raw, rotational grunt that gets your car moving from a dead stop.
This is a perfect way to think about it. Imagine you're trying to tighten a really stubborn bolt with a wrench. The twisting force you're applying with your arm, that is torque. Your engine is basically doing that same thing, just, thousands of times a minute. And this is the key right here. Torque is what you feel. It's that immediate kick in the pants that pushes you back in your seat when you accelerate from a standstill. A car with a lot of torque just feels quick, punchy, and ready to go from the second you touch the pedal. Okay, so torque is the get up and go. But what about the keep going? What's the power that helps you maintain speed, especially on the highway? That, my friends, is horsepower, and you'll often see it as bhp, which just stands for brake horsepower. It's just a way of measuring how quickly the engine gets its work done.
Let's stick with a hands-on analogy. Say you've got one of those super tight phone cases you need to get off. The initial twisting force you need just to break it loose, that's like your torque.
Right, so once you've broken that seal, the power you need to peel the rest of the case off quickly and over that distance, that is horsepower. It's not just about the initial grunt. It's about how fast you can complete the job.
So here's the bottom line. I'll lay it out. Torque is that twisting force that gives you that fun, zippy acceleration, that pickup. Horsepower is what gives you your top speed. Think of it this way. Torque gets you off the line, horsepower wins you the long race. They really need each other to give you the full driving experience. So we've got the engine size with cc, its twisting force with torque, and its work rate with horsepower. But how do we know how fast the engine is actually working to create all that power? That's our last piece of the puzzle, RPM.
RPM is super straightforward. It stands for revolutions per minute. Inside your engine, there's a big rotating shaft called a crankshaft. And RPM is just counting how many full 360-degree spins that crankshaft makes in one single minute.
Yeah, so next time you're in a car, look at that dial, the tachometer. When you see that needle jump to, say, 5,500 RPM, it means the main shaft in your engine is spinning 5,500 times every single minute. That is just mind-blowingly fast. And it's at different RPMs that you get the most torque or the most horsepower. Okay, we've looked at all the parts. cc, torque, horsepower, RPM. Now let's bring it all home and see how they work together to tell the complete story of a car's performance. So let's do a quick recap, the whole shebang. cc, that's the engine's size, its potential. Torque, that's the immediate twisting force that gets you accelerating. Horsepower, that's the power that lets you cruise at high speeds. And RPM, that's just how fast the engine's doing all of this. See, each number tells you a different but really important part of the story.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you get it, think about your daily drive, all that stop-and-go city traffic. What do you think is actually more important? That instant push from high torque, or that top-end speed from high horsepower? The answer really depends on you, and now you have the tools to figure it out. Thanks for tuning in.